What kind of food do beavers rely on, or what do they particularly prefer also?
Yeah, beavers are herbivores. So beavers are what we call choosy generalist herbivores. They eat just about anything that is plant material. They're generalists, but they're choosy. They have things they like more than others. So beavers are most famous for eating woody material. They like to eat the bark and the cambium of a tree. So a stick like this, they would just be eating the outer layer. When you find a stick that has been denuded of bark and has all these little teeth marks, that's the perfect example of beavers having snacked on that tree. But that's not the only food resource that they might eat. Here in the Edmonds marsh, I'm seeing a lot of cattails. Beavers are known to eat cattail tubers. They're known to eat some herbaceous vegetation. We've seen them chewing on things like reed canary grass. They eat some invasive species. So they really are kind of chowing down on what's available. You can imagine in a time of plenty, like the summertime in the Pacific Northwest, there's lots of green, lush vegetation for them to chew. In the wintertime, they might be relying more on those tubers or that bark and cambium.
Thank you. Some people have expressed concern that maybe beavers are harmful for the habitat. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, it's tough. I think beavers get this bad rap as nuisance animals, right? We as humans have highly modified our ecosystems and our stream systems especially. And so when we want them to act a certain way, flow a certain way, when we have culverts that carry these stream systems, as soon as beavers show up, it can cause a conflict, right? Beavers interacting with human infrastructure in streams is tough and sometimes can threaten people's livelihoods, their homes, roads, etc. But overall, beavers have been here a very long time and much longer than many of us. And their dams are really beneficial to the ecosystems that they're in. These dams that beavers build create and enhance wetlands, which are critical habitat for so many species. We see that beaver wetlands are more biodiverse than unbeavered areas. We also know that these beaver dams help to slow water, which is really important in our flashy stream systems, right? Think about when we get a big rain event and water is falling on all this pavement and all these roads and sidewalks, and it's going straight into storm drains and out to our streams rather than soaking into the ground. Having these beaver wetlands helps to kind of hold on to that water a little bit like a sponge. These will soak up some water and slowly release it to help reduce flooding downstream. And then I like to think of that too in the sense of resilience, right? We're seeing a lot of changes due to climate change, and beaver wetlands are really helpful in reducing the frequency of drought. You can see that behind us, there is a ton of water here. We're in the deep end of summer, and we've still got so much water that is really precious to the wildlife around here and helps maintain water on our landscapes in these times of drought. So lots of big benefits. I think the last one I'll mention is just water quality. I think this is really important in our kind of more urban watersheds like this, that we have a lot of inputs into these watersheds that make the water a little bit nasty. And beaver dams can help settle that water out by slowing it down. Some of those pollutants will settle into the sediment. Some of them will be soaked up by all of these wonderful plants all around, eaten by the microbes all around. And so it is shown that beaver dams and wetlands help to improve water quality as well. You asked also about how do we get people to live with beavers and accept them. This is the bread and butter of my job. It's what I do most days. And so we do a lot of work of helping people understand these benefits of beavers that we've already talked about. There are many reasons to keep beavers around. So then we need to just figure out how can we compromise with them, right? If you live along a stream and a beaver builds a dam and starts to flood your basement, that's a real problem that needs a solution, right? And can we maintain some beaver wetlands and keep your basement unflooded, or your driveway unflooded, or your agricultural road unflooded? These are all things that we could do. And so we install coexistence devices. They're often generally called flow devices, ways that we can find that compromise. Can we set a level that still maintains a beautiful wetland for beavers to live in and to convey a lot of these benefits, but compromise on those kind of human needs in the landscape as well? So there are lots of ways. I think, if you're struggling with a beaver situation, we're the ones to call at Beavers Northwest for sure.